To be honest, at first, I thought Karl Urban's Johnny Cage felt off. I think I was just comparing him to the game version too much. And then after a few scenes, I was just super on board and I loved his variation. Can you speak to allowing Carl to really put his own spin on Johnny Cage rather than being an imitation? Because I thought it ultimately worked for the better.
Well, great. Hi, Tyler. Nice to meet you, mate. I'm glad you felt that. We knew we needed to have Johnny go on a his story needed to grow from here to here, and that Carl really understood that the task of that, and I one of the reasons I loved having Carl in there so much was. Carl is this really unique and lovely blend of being able to land really genuine, authentic, and honest, dramatic roles, and that element of what he does. But he also has a very keen and acute understanding of comedic rhythm and never overplaying the comedy. And if you look at the like as an example, what he did in the Bourne film, and then you look at what he did in Star Trek, it's his character in Bones in Star Trek was one of the reasons I love that so much. I thought every actor in that the films was beautifully handled, and Carl, it was really funny without him ever going over the top with it. Like he really knows how to hold on and control. Um, it never gets broad with Carl, and he first and foremost understood the that really tough journey that that Johnny needed to go on, and he knew what that was, and he understood the sort of honesty inside that, and he was clearly on it instantly, and it didn't really require an enormous amount of sort of long conversations about because he just got it. And then he was always helping to inform um, things within the action or things within no, maybe he should do this or maybe what if so it was all like this really great collaborative process with him about and honestly he made my job really easy because he just understood and he's great improv skills, and so several of the things in there are the homework he did and brought some great improv, and improv's I love improv because it just makes it feel so honest and spontaneous, and I really love that, and certainly Josh and Carl together had a wonderful spirit of improv, and when that's going on, I just get out of the way and just make sure I'm pointing the camera in the right direction. And those guys were brilliant. So Carl just understood it instantaneously, and I was I mean I couldn't be happier. He just absolutely nailed it. He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great. I need a Baraka and Carl movie. That'd be fantastic. And then my last question for you. I love the Ed Boon cameo. How is it just filming with Ed?
Oh, he's great. He's such a lovely guy. He's when you first meet Ed, he's just really humble and very polite guy and very respectful to the creative process. But as we've spent more time with each other, he I realize he's just hilariously funny. He's like a really funny guy, and he's got amazing wit about it. It's sort of obvious, really, when you look at what Mortal Kombat is and what it's done. It's very much um about there's a lot of Ed in there, and he's great. And so he allowed us to sort of rely on him and made my job easier having him involved so heavily on the second one. It was great. It, made the movie better, his involvement, um and I just love him. We were just on we went to Vegas and did a gaming panel together, and that was great fun. And anytime to hang with Ed, I'll always say yes. He's a lovely guy.